It's solid. I mean, he's a rookie out there. His first game playing, he didn't even start. His first game playing, and then like the game plan wasn't for him. That game plan was for Dylan Gabriel. I don't know what his might be different, right? Another thing is, he a rookie. But everybody, they were so happy he didn't play great. They're so happy though. But some of their favorite rookies didn't have good years, right? We just watched a guy like Caleb Williams. He's just kind of turned the corner and is really just peeking past the corner, not even turning.
Something went down on that field that nobody is brave enough to speak on, and it flips the whole script. Did Kevin Stefanski really throw Shedeur Sanders into a setup designed to make him look bad, or did some wild master plan just blow up in his face? Because instead of falling apart, Shedeur flipped that whole situation into the boldest performance of his young career. People keep whispering about betrayal, strategy, or something way darker behind closed doors. And this story is about to burst wide open. What nobody expected was the internet jumping on Shedeur like he personally walked into their house and pulled the plug on their whole setup. This man stepped into his NFL debut carrying the pressure of a whole city, played cleaner than most rookies ever dream of, and still got treated like he was supposed to drop from the sky performing miracles on demand. Folks acted like he was supposed to fix years of football pain in one Sunday like some kind of superhero. Somebody forgot Cleveland hasn't been stacking wins anyway. You'd think fans would be happy just seeing an offense that didn't crumble like dry paper the moment the ball snapped. But the second Shedeur didn't drop a 70-point blowout while posing for a magazine mid-play.
Odd that Shedeur hasn't had a single snap of practice rep, yes, but I don't think it's something where everyone's making it out to be like, oh my gosh, you should be splitting the reps with Dylan Gabriel. I would go weeks as the backup quarterback, weeks, if not months, without taking a single rep with our starting offense.
But you were sort of a seasoned veteran backup who was there for that reason because you didn't need snaps and they could throw you in case of trouble. This is a rookie who's never taken a snap in an NFL game.
It's also a rookie who's playing in front of him, who's only been playing for 6 games or so. So you're trying to get him ready. I don't think it's the perfect.
The critics crawled out like they were waiting in the Shedeur's for the spotlight to hit. They popped up fast, creeping in with hot takes like they heard the microwave beep. Then suddenly everybody became a so-called quarterback expert. People who still need spell check to type quarterback started breaking down his form like they were hired by a top-secret space program. Shedeur dropped darts, escaped trouble, took control of the moment, and somehow the conversation flipped to, not enough, send him home. Send him home to what exactly? The man just arrived, stepped up under pressure, and the haters didn't even wait for the replay before throwing shade. They jumped on him in real time, like their keyboards were overheating and their whole spirit was locked into negativity. One off-target throw? Trash. A clean completion that wasn't a 99-yard highlight? Mid. A smart decision to not force a risky pass? He's scared of pressure. The reactions were wild, and the expectations were straight up unreal.
Outs aficionado said the game appeared to be too quick for him, that he routinely held onto the ball too long and was subjected to immense pressure, 11 quarterback pressures and 2 sacks, by the way. I don't know whether Shedeur Sanders is an NFL quarterback or not, and I don't blame anybody for assuming and surmising that he may not be. But how does he get 0 snaps with the first team? How are players able to say they were unfamiliar with his snap count? He wasn't prepped at all. You're a QB2. Your QB1 is an undersized dude, a hit away from getting concussed and taken out.
People acted like they forgot the basic facts. Rookie quarterback, brand new environment, first real NFL action, playing for a team that hasn't exactly been swimming in victory lately. Instead of recognizing how heavy that moment was, critics pretended Shedeur was supposed to wave his hand and erase years of the Browns' struggles with one snap, like he was there to rewrite the whole franchise history before halftime. Shedeur showed up, handled business, played solid, and somehow folks kept raising the bar mid-game like they were adjusting difficulty settings on a video game. He threw a touchdown. Cool, now drop 6 more. He marched the ball downfield. Nice, now go win the championship before the second quarter ends. Why isn't it happening already? Hurry up, rookie. The demands were unreal. The funniest part, if you can even laugh at the madness, is how some people refused to admit they were rooting for him to fall apart from the beginning. They weren't analyzing. They were waiting, watching, planning their own little disappointment garden so they could brag the moment he didn't look like an instant Hall of Famer.
Anderson for showing you exactly why, folks, well, they're tired of the whole Sanders thing. Promotion over production, arrogance over production. Here's what Josina Anderson, who at one point in her life was actually at ESPN, actually on Sideline Lady. She actually stood in studio. Here was the against all odds 3rd and 10 completion by Sanders under 2 minutes. Now, we can't show you, but against all odds? The throw was about, I don't know, you can't see it, but you see where the 40 is? The throw was between the 40 and the 45, and the kid that made the catch made it unbelievable.
You could practically hear them whispering, "Please mess up," through their screens, clutching their popcorn with this weird, jealous excitement. When he actually played well, they panicked like their whole storyline just got ripped up in front of them. So they shifted the goalpost so fast, it should have caused wind damage. Suddenly, playing well wasn't enough. Now he had to play historic, magical, legendary from the very first snap. If he didn't reach that level instantly, they felt justified in their little negativity mission. It's almost dramatic in its own way. Shedeur performs solid, but because it isn't loud enough for their fantasy football dreams, they twist respect into chaos. They can't even compliment him without throwing in a but like it's mandatory paperwork. He looked good, but always a but. That but is the fuel their outrage needs to stay alive. If he threw for 400 yards, the but would be that he didn't teleport to do it. If he scored 5 touchdowns, the but would be that he didn't time travel and score them even faster. If he won his first game, the but would be that he didn't win by some ridiculous number to shut down every critic forever.
You played? I don't think I played good. I don't think I played good at all. I think it's a lot of things, we need to look at, during the week and go and just
continue to support him. He spoke after the game, and he wanted to pin it on himself and his performance, but we're not going to allow him to do that. It's a team game, so we're all in this together.
I said he addressed the entire team in the locker room after the game.
They don't want to see him win. They want to see him struggle just for daring to show up with confidence. And why? Because Shedeur isn't just a rookie, he's a rookie with buzz. Buzz is like lighter fluid for jealousy, and once that jealousy catches fire, fairness disappears instantly. People love a success story until the success actually shows up in their face. Then suddenly, they remember every old grudge they've ever had against quarterbacks who don't match their imaginary real NFL guy checklist, whatever that even means. The second he proves them wrong, they flip the script like they always knew he'd be good. It's the classic online sports cycle. Hate, deny, criticize, then deny the criticism ever happened. Meanwhile, Shedeur is out there staying focused, doing his job, not stressing over people who think scrolling through stats is the same as actually watching the game. Most rookies look like they're trying to deactivate a bomb with no instructions during their first start. But Shedeur
is a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year. He knows a thing or two about coaching football. How unprepared did Shedeur Sanders look? Suddenly, he's not comprehending plays. Suddenly, he doesn't know the playbook. Suddenly, he doesn't know what's going on. That's not the reputation that we've ever heard about Shedeur Sanders. We've heard he's incredibly familiar with the playbook. We've heard that he's very, very smart. Now, the knock against him is that he's about the why. He's not somebody that just does what he's told.
He came out looking like he'd been doing this for years, and that alone should have earned him a loud standing ovation. Instead of giving credit where it was earned, people claimed he didn't fix all of Cleveland's football problems in one Sunday, and somehow that became his fault. Cleveland wasn't stacking wins before he arrived. That's not disrespect. That's straight up history. This team has survived more chaos than a plane flying through a hurricane full of bowling balls. Quarterbacks have rotated in and out like seasonal symptoms nobody asked for. But suddenly the rookie is supposed to erase decades of mess in one afternoon. That's like blaming a firefighter because the fire existed before he even showed up. Imagine sending a brand new firefighter into a burning skyscraper, and when the building doesn't magically rebuild itself while he's trying to control the flames, you point at him like he's the problem. What kind of logic is that? Make it make sense. Now flip the situation. If Shedeur had played poorly, the haters would have celebrated like it was a holiday. They would have had confetti, snacks, and fireworks ready to go. Some people are so hooked on being right that they'll root against someone just to protect their own pride. If Shedeur had slipped even a little, they would have leaned back in their chair whispering, "Told you so," with joy. But he played well, and that ruined their whole script. So now they're scrambling, rewriting their takes on the fly. That's not real analysis. That's frustration dressed up as expertise. Shedeur was never supposed to fix decades of disappointment in a single game. He was supposed to bring a spark, something fresh, and he did that with confidence. But that's never enough for the internet because admitting progress takes emotional maturity, and not everybody downloaded that update. Shedeur didn't fold under pressure, not once. He didn't panic, he didn't freeze, and he definitely didn't look lost out there. He played the hand he was dealt, and he played it smooth, like someone who already understands the rhythm of this league. That's not some maybe later promise, that's the start of a real career with real potential. Whether people want to admit it or not, he showed something solid, real resilience, the kind you can actually build a future on. You can grow when you've got resilience. You can stack victories on top of a strong beginning, but you can't fake calmness in chaos, and he showed that instantly. Instead of letting him grow naturally, people were out here speed running his whole career like they were skipping chapters in a book. Soon enough, you're gonna see tweets like, "I knew he had it in him."
Shedeur at all yesterday?
I didn't.
In the second half, I felt like they put him in a trick bag somewhat, but no reps with the first unit at all, even though he was a second string or third, whatever they want to call him. Made some solid throws, made some mistakes, had some balls that his team should have, his guys should have caught, but I just think overall for him to be able to get out there, It's been real interesting over there. It's just like, it's almost like, you hate to say it, but I think the writing's on the walls. There's some weird energy over there with him not being able to get an opportunity to get on the field. What are your thoughts on that?
From the same folks who were calling him trash 60 minutes into his first NFL game. That selective memory always shows up like one of those free trials. Annoying, but predictable. But the funny part, Shedeur doesn't even need to clap back. He doesn't have to respond or feed the negativity. His game already speaks for him every time he steps on the field. Every completion, every drive, every adjustment is another step forward in a journey that's supposed to take time. Growth isn't instant, and development doesn't go in a straight line. Nobody becomes great without tough moments. That's part of the process. Try explaining that to fans who expect every rookie quarterback to walk in like they were created in a lab specifically to deliver a playoff run. Call it jealousy, call it insecurity, call it projection. Whatever it is, it's not logical. The hate doesn't even pretend to make sense, and that's why it doesn't matter. Here's what does matter. The kid can play. He showed courage, he showed skill, he showed leadership, and he did it while the whole world watched him like they were inspecting him through binoculars looking for mistakes. The scoreboard didn't hand him some dramatic movie ending, but the tape gave him something way more important, proof that he belongs right now.
Next game, I'll grade him a little bit differently because it'll be his game plan for the whole week. We'll see.
I'm going to say it like this. And we keep it real in the speakeasy. I apologize if I hurt your feelings. If you want somebody to lie to you, go watch another show. Shedeur did what backup quarterbacks do when they come into a football game. He struggled in a mighty way. Shedeur didn't come into this game and overly impress us, but he was.
People don't want Shedeur Sanders to shine because seeing him succeed forces them to face their own negativity. Because if this is Shedeur at the very beginning, hungry, learning fast, standing in the pressure without blinking, imagine what he'll look like once he's fully settled into himself. And trust me, when that day comes, the haters won't vanish. They'll just evolve. They'll switch from he's overrated to he was always supposed to be great, pretending all that rookie year slander never happened. But we'll remember who panicked because he didn't save the entire franchise instantly. We'll remember who was rooting for him to fall before he even finished his first snap. And when Shedeur flips the whole script, slow, steady, and unstoppable, they'll finally realize something wild. Failure was never his path. Their negativity was, and that's exactly why it hits them so hard. Their whole personality relies on Shedeur failing, and he refuses to give them that satisfaction. Every sharp throw feels like a personal attack on their pessimism. Every strong drive feels like a slap to their expectations.
Things that Rex said that if he actually followed it with a coherent thought, I would agree with. Is there a disconnect between Shedeur and Kevin? That's a fair question. I don't think there is. I think Kevin just has his attention elsewhere. But again, that's a fair question. But to act like the kid sitting on the sideline or that in the press conference said, hey, I really feel like this loss is on me, that it's somehow an indictment on his character, just say you don't like the kid. Or just say you haven't heard things that are good about him from the little NFL circles, instead of pretending like it has any.
Every calm moment he shows on that field is basically him telling them, without saying a word, I'm not here to act out your little doom story. And nothing annoys a lifelong critic more than someone who refuses to break on their schedule. They start nitpicking the most random things. Did he blink too slow? Was his jawline too relaxed? Did his hands look too confident or not confident enough? When someone decides they want to hate a person, even neutral actions magically become evidence. Shedeur could stop to save an injured pigeon on the way to practice, and someone would hop online complaining that he didn't save 2 pigeons. The real threat Shedeur brings to the haters isn't perfection, it's progress. Every time he levels up, that whole anti-fan club loses a little bit of juice, and they feel it. They've seen this movie before. A young quarterback shows promise, battles through mistakes, grows into a real weapon on the field, and suddenly, the whole "he'll never make it" crowd has to pretend they were supportive from day one. They're terrified of that deja vu moment.
If he gets the opportunity to, and I hope he does. I'm really excited to see what he can do, because the guy we saw on Sunday, that's not the complete picture of Shedeur. I've watched too much, I've seen too much, I know he's so much better at that, and I did think at the very end, I thought there were glimpses of what you saw, classic Shedeur, but it just took a little bit longer to get there. If you're Shedeur, I mean, you want to talk about having an opportunity and being able to run with it. If he's able to start this week, you can Wally Pip of sorts Dillon Gabriel. You can take that job right from him. You just have to be.
They know that the second Shedeur hits his stride for real, the bandwagon is going to get packed, and their old bitterness is going to start looking embarrassing. Meanwhile, Shedeur isn't even out here causing drama. He's doing the simplest, most honest thing possible, playing ball and getting better every week. No chasing attention, no begging for applause, no cracking under pressure, just steady growth, and that makes the hate look even more ridiculous. He's not feeding the drama, yet somehow he's winning it. Every wild overreaction turns into another free motivational poster for him. And if Shedeur keeps adding more growth to the foundation he's already built, what people call not enough today is going to be remembered as the first spark of something serious tomorrow. That moment is coming. The moment the narrative flips and the same city that nitpicked every snap starts cheering with real pride. And when that day hits, when the energy shifts and the momentum turns in his favor, the haters will rush to rewrite history. They'll swear they always believed in him, acting like their old comments never existed. And that's the part nobody wants to talk about. The pressure Shedeur is creating just by existing on that field. Not because he's perfect, not because he's dropping video game numbers, but because he refuses to fold the way the doubters predicted he would. Every snap he takes is a reminder that their hot takes might age like spoiled milk, and that scares them way more than any touchdown he throws. You can feel it every time he steps on the field.
That Shedeur Sanders had no business being a starting quarterback in the NFL. Honestly, great call by the haters. Nailed it. Now, we have been having to deal with these conspiracy theories since the 2025 NFL draft, that the NFL was somehow conspiring to destroy Shedeur Sanders' career because of his father or a variety of other reasons. But last night was a perfect example of this guy was a QB2 at his absolute ceiling. You can go out and fire out excuses, his offensive line, although that it is the quarterback's responsibility of shifting protections, a bunch of
that quiet confidence that makes people nervous for reasons they won't admit. They wanted him shaky, rattled, overwhelmed, but instead, he walks out looking calm, sharp, and focused, like he's been here before. That kind of calm messes with people's heads because it means he's not just surviving, he's learning how to win. And when a rookie learns how to win, the whole league starts paying attention. Coaches notice it, players notice it, Fans notice it even when they pretend they don't. Shedeur isn't just trying to fit in. He's trying to build something, piece by piece, and that slow rise is way more dangerous than any one flashy moment. That's why the hate gets louder every week. They can sense the shift coming, they can feel the energy changing. They know that once Shedeur puts everything together, the excuses, the slander, the dramatic reactions, all of it is gonna crumble. And deep down, the critics know the truth they don't want to say out loud. The kid is coming, and he's coming fast. He's not here for a pity story. He's not here to be a temporary headline. He's here to grow, to fight, to take his spot. And every single step he takes is another crack in the wall the haters tried to build around him. Shedeur is turning pressure into momentum, negativity into fuel, and every drive into a warning shot that he's nowhere close to done. They'll swear up and down that they saw it coming from day one, even though the only thing they actually saw was their own fear dressed up as analysis. The receipts will live forever, and so will Shedeur's rise, climbing step by step while the critics try to rewrite history. His journey is only getting louder, stronger, and harder to deny, and everybody watching knows the truth. The kid is building something real. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video, and I'll see you on the next one.